Melbourne City Meats is my favourite chicken shop at the Queen Victoria Market, and I'm here to see Luke, who's going to give me the best chicken. Hi Luke, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Hey, I want some thigh fillets with the skin on, please.
Yes, just like these.
When did you cut those up?
This morning.
This morning.
Fresh every day.
I love it.
So what are you cooking, Emma?
I'm making a chicken tagine with preserved lemon and olives.
Sounds good.
I'll bring you in some.
Look forward to it.
Thank you. I'm inspired by Luke's fresher than fresh chicken to make my delicious chicken tagine with preserved lemon and olives. My sister and I have been making this dish for as long as I can remember. We lived together about 20 years ago and we used to make these often for our family dinners at night. It's really easy, and with the inclusion of a few simple spices makes it just a magnificent meal. To get into this recipe, you need to have 1 red onion and then simply just slice it. Just thin slices, well, as thin as you can get. I'm not particularly fussy, to be honest. Just slice it up. There we go, and then last bit. All right, so I've sliced up the onion with some olive oil. We're gonna pop it into the pan. We wanna have a medium pan. Start off the onions nice and slow at the beginning. We'll make sure they caramelize and your tagine will be really full of flavor. Onions are the start of every good meal. Like, I think there's one vegetable that's universal across all cuisines, and that would be the onion. Now I've got 3 cloves of garlic here and a bit of a chop. Don't worry about the garlic being a bit of a rough chop because we are going to cook this for about an hour and they'll reduce down, go nice and tender, and the flavours will mellow a lot. I like to add the garlic after the onions have caramelised because I find if I add the garlic into the onions at the beginning together, you run the risk of burning the garlic. I'm going to stir these onions, cook them down for about 5 to 10 minutes till they're nice and caramelised, and then I'm going to add in the garlic. See, I've added in the garlic into the onion and it's all caramelising and reducing down really nicely. Now to add 1.5 teaspoons of paprika, just plain old paprika. And that's going to add a really nice red, rich colour as well as some really good flavour. Also with the flavour, some ground ginger. Now, ground ginger goes really well in tagines. So fresh. So good. It reminds me of all the things, with biscuits and savoury meats and sweets, so good. So 1.5 teaspoons of ground ginger. Just an estimation, woo, with the wind. And I'm gonna mix that in and you can see that changing the colour of our tagine base. You might have noticed I've been calling it a tagine. If you don't have a tagine at home, you can just use a plain old saucepan with a lid. So over 20 years ago, my sister and I would come down to the Queen Victoria Market when we were really young. We'd buy up all of our fruits and vegetables and fresh meats and go home and do big cook-ups. And this dish is definitely one of the dishes that we used to cook together. Right, now with the tagine, take out the onions and set them aside for a little minute. Woo! Pan back onto the heat. These gorgeous chickens. Now I've got the chicken with the skin on and the bone in. The bone in will allow the chicken to cook and keep its moisture because the bone steams the chicken from the inside. Fry these off in batches until the skin is nice and brown, and then we'll go on to the next step. I've cooked the chicken cutlets, bone in, skin on, in batches, and now it's time to add them all back into the pan. It's all systems go now. Look at that, and that flavour. Look at the colour of that sauce. Put all that back in. Now, just smell this. This smells so good. The ginger, the paprika, garlic, onion, yum. Now we're going to add in our chicken stock. So 1 litre of good quality chicken stock. Enough chicken stock to cover all of the chicken pieces. That's flavour right there. It just smells so good. A pinch of saffron, and saffron again, all the flavours, adding in those flavours and that deep red colour that we're going for. And we're going to add in a little bit of coriander at this point as well. Roughly chopped, including the stalks, all of the flavour. There you go. Coriander in, coriander pepper. That saffron's really coming through now. You can smell the saffron, pepper, coriander. Such a favourite dish of mine and my sister. That's the great thing about food. It creates memories. You eat it again 20 years later, it still reminds you of being young kids going to the Queen Victoria Market, grabbing some ingredients, grabbing a Kransky, and then going home and making some delicious home-cooked meals. So, lid on, bring it up to a simmer. We're going to cook this down for about an hour until the chicken is falling off the bone. So my chicken's been simmering for about 40 minutes and now it's time to add in the preserved lemon and the olives. And you may have noticed I haven't seasoned this dish yet with any salt because the preserved lemons are quite salty and so are the olives. So it won't be until I've added those and done the final tasting that I'll do my seasoning. So I've got some preserved lemons here that I did make a few weeks ago and they're fantastic to make at home because they're so cheap to make and so expensive to buy. For a small jar it's about $10 or you can make them for probably under $1. And the important thing with preserved lemons is to just use the skin only, so we need to get rid of all of the flesh. I'm going to use about 2/4, I reckon, or 1/2, however you want to go with the maths. And then we're going to chop them up so we end up with a fine dice. There we go. So our chicken's simmering away, preserved lemon in, and 200 grams of green olives. Good quality green olives, get them from the deli, go into the Queen Victoria Market, talk to the stall holders and get some nice quality green olive. Mix that through and then we're going to simmer that for another 20 to 30 minutes until it thickens up and turns into a delicious tagine. And that's it, so simple. Our chicken has been simmering for over an hour. It is literally falling off the bone. It smells delicious. There's this one thing what I have to do is to taste for seasoning. Because I did add in the preserved lemon and the olives, they naturally have some salt in there, so I make sure that it's still good. Oh, this sauce is unreal. Yum. I'd say that's perfect. So now all we have to do is serve up. So I've made some couscous. Couscous is really easy to make. You just need 1 cup of couscous and 1 cup of boiling liquid, tea towel on top, and then 15 minutes later, you've got couscous. And you'll see this chicken here, packed full of flavour. Look at that sauce. It is unreal. So tender. And this is best served with a delicious green salad on the table for everyone to share. It's resplendent of all the good markets I've been to, and the Queen Victoria Market is no different. And the night market is very inspiring. I love all the food that is served at the night market. But today we've got our day market. We've got the delicious chicken tagine, and look at this chicken. Just falls off the bone, so tender, so delicious. All we need now is a bit of fresh coriander on top, and there you have my chicken tagine with preserved lemon and olives. I've been making this for over 20 years, inspired by the Queen Victoria Market.